Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of our webinar series, which is a Facebook Live series, which is Greater Goals for Girls. I'm Julia Wall, head of school at Stuart Country Day in Princeton, New Jersey. And I'm new to Stuart this year. And I'm joined by Hillary Nastro. If you can quickly introduce yourself, Hillary.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Hillary Nastro. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management. I am also new this year in this role, but I am not new to Stuart. I am a Stuart parent. My daughter, Anna, has been here since the early childhood program. She's in first grade and she loves it. And my hope is that she is going to become a wonderful woman, an example of a wonderful young woman like Sydney, who you're going to hear from. But I am happy to answer any questions about the enrollment process, and all of my information is on the website if you need to reach me. So thanks so much for being here.
So I wanted to start by just introducing the idea around this series. So I'm in my 6th month at Stuart, and prior to me coming, I spent all spring last year listening and learning and talking with Stuart people. I talked a lot with students and with faculty members, parents, alums, and I remember one conversation that I had specifically where, and I believe it was a student who said to me, I just think, Ms. Wall, that Stuart has greater goals for girls than any other place. And I just was really interested in that idea and wanted to explore that more. What do we mean by that? What do we mean by greater goals? What does success look like at Stuart? How do we define that? And I came to understand the importance and really the lifeblood of the school is through the Sacred Heart goals and criteria. And there are 5 goals that we live every day. And so this series really is explaining those goals to you in sort of a tangible way, and explaining them through different areas of the school. And today it's through our arts program. And I hope that this conversation will be brief, probably around 20 minutes, just to give you a little taste of what we do in regards to the arts and what we're hoping for in terms of success in the arts for us. I hope that it also will be casual. It's going to be just a conversation that I have with an esteemed colleague and a terrific lifer student that has been with us forever. So with that, I will start by introducing Ms. Jan Baldwin and Sydney Amato. And maybe if you could start by just giving us a little window into how you came to Stuart. And how long you have been at Stuart, because I think that that's an important part of both of your stories, and why you have remained such a central part of our school community for so long. What is it about this place that resonates for you so deeply?
I'll start, and Happy New Year. I'm Jan Baldwin. I have been here 37 years, I believe, at this point. My introduction to Stuart was really quite a journey. I was in a production of The Sound of Music locally, and the director of the production was actually the drama teacher here at Stuart Country Day School. And I knew that she was moving, and she said, "You should apply for the job." So I came for my first interview with Sister Joan Magnetti. And Joan, as soon as I walked in the door, she said, "You're Maria." And I said, "No, I'm Jan." But she had seen the production, and there was an automatic sort of affinity between my playing a nun and her being a Sister of the Sacred Heart at the same time. So we became fast friends, and that was my first entree into the world of Sacred Heart education and Stuart Country Day School. It has been a wonderful ride. I have never left. My daughter graduated from here as well. And I truly believe that the foundational goals and criteria of the Sacred Heart, which are universally accepted in every great aspect of education, are fundamental to the success of every girl that graduates from Stuart Country Day School, including Sydney Amato.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I'm a current senior at Stuart. I've been here for 14 years. So I came when I was in junior kindergarten, and I never thought of leaving. I came to Stuart because of the Landers family, who actually was the family that got me into theater. So I'm forever grateful to them. But I'm here, and I'm happy to be here, and I choose to be here because of what Stuart's given me, both in opportunities and in great friendships and teachers, and has kind of helped me just live my best life. And I'm glad to be here, and I never thought of leaving.
Great. So we are here to talk about two things. One is the Sacred Heart goals and criteria, but also how those are woven into our arts program, and what really our arts program is meant to do at Stuart for our students. So I'd like to start there by just firstly describing, actually just saying the five goals that we have as a Sacred Heart school. And the first is a personal and active faith in God. The second is a deep respect for intellectual values. The third is a social awareness that impels us to action. The fourth is the building of a community as a Christian value. And the fifth is a personal growth in an atmosphere of wise freedom. So, with those goals in mind, would you talk to us a little bit about what your goals are, Jan, for the arts program at Stuart?
Sure. First of all, I want to say that the arts at Stuart are so fortunate for many reasons. First of all, we are considered academic. We are not an extracurricular. It is not an after school only event. We are woven into the fabric of the academics at Stuart. So when our girls have the opportunity to study the arts, it begins pre-K and runs all the way through our 12th grade in music, in theater, in dance, and of course in art and the media arts as well. Our goals for our students are to give them a great foundation to find their voice through the arts, to find their purpose through the arts, to find their spiritual self through the arts, and to take that, as we all do, into the greater world and to share that with a greater community. I think over the last couple of years, we have had a culture of bigger, better, faster, and perfectionism that has created something of a disconnect with ourselves. And this notion of wellness and finding our voice and finding out who we really are is truly part of what arts education is all about. I think we fight that disconnection by making sure that our students not only find personal expression, but they also work on creative problem solving. They make connections with other students by, in the performing arts, by singing together or acting together or dancing together. But they also have this wonderful creative impulse to find a voice that speaks to their soul. And that's part of our goals as well. Not only is it the wonderful idea of social justice, which our students are very committed to. In most of our arts programs, that is a tenet that we use, especially in the upper school, in our elective classes. Two of my students right at the moment have just created a wonderful photography exhibit that speaks to empowering women and the notion of diversity. And not only is it just the arts, of course, but social justice is a huge tenet through the entire school, but we embrace it in all of our classes. Personal growth and an atmosphere of wise freedom. I think Sydney probably could talk to that one for a long time. We give our students so much room to grow, and they take it and become great leaders with that. Sydney, you want to say something about that?
Yeah. Stuart is really good at giving you the materials and then giving you the space to learn how to do it yourself. So for the last 2 years, I've been the assistant director for our shows at Stuart, and I was taught in my freshman year how to do it. And ever since then, it has been my job to kind of figure out where my place is. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the stage managers that taught me and because of where I am. But that's true for any arts class. They give you, Miss Wright gives you the materials you need and shows you along the way how to do it. But it's up to your brain to be creative and to grow as a student in any form of the arts.
Can you talk a little bit more about what you think we mean by wise freedom? That was sort of a new term to me. It's not necessarily an education term. And so, but it is so lived here. And I hear kids calling it out all the time as a reason for doing something or not doing something. So, can you talk to me a little bit about the purpose of wise freedom and how students live that, Sydney?
Oh, that's a hard one because I just say wise freedom. It's being aware of your actions and how they could impact others. I think is one of the best ways that at least I view it. And it's being aware. I always want to say if you're making a wise choice, but I can't say that. I can't say that in the definition.
Sure you can. Yeah. It's wise decision or yeah, go ahead.
If you're making a smart choice that will benefit someone or something in some way,
mm-hmm.
or if you're doing it purely to make noise and maybe cause a little bit of a mess, but if it's a good choice, which is kind of like a synonym for it, but it's something you do, not something you do.
What I noticed when I came here is that there's a deep respect and trust that faculty have of students and students have of faculty. And I think that that's often where this wise freedom is allowed, is that we trust each other to do the right thing. And so therefore you get a longer bandwidth of you have more freedom to make those choices because we trust in the foundations that you have been that you have in you to make those choices, which I think is a beautiful way to learn, to have that baseline of an understanding. So what about the all girls component and the arts? How has that been either something that is an opportunity, or maybe it can also be a constraint? But tell me about the all girls climate as you are growing as an artist. And that's where Jan is.
I'm going to start with that, and I think Sydney can absolutely chime in. Because we are a women's institution, we are continually aware of, especially in the arts, the female voice. So whether we are choosing a repertoire for vocal performance that has been written by a female composer, certainly written for the female voice, or whether we are choosing shows that propel the empowerment of women forward, we choose female artists to look at, or female women that are involved with filmmaking or architecture in all of our elective classes. When we write plays in the middle school, it's always with the female voice forward. Who is the strong voice in the room, and how do we want to make sure that everyone understands what that voice is saying? And our voices at Stuart, again, are involved with the goals and criteria of the Sacred Heart, which allows us to write, to create, to speak, to empathize, to take the perspective of other people, always in the arts. And then our students get a chance to look at, to learn all of these voices and then find their own. And I think that's the hallmark of any great arts program. We have guest artists that come. We are so fortunate to be in the Princeton community. I have female architects that come and speak to my class. We have female artists that come. We have alumni that are very involved with photography, with theater, with music, with dance. Some own their own ateliers and studios, and they all come back and share their experience and what they have taken and what they are doing in their own world as a professional artist, which is great too. Right at the moment, shout out, we have one theatrical performance on Broadway, Moulin Rouge, and one of our Sacred Heart graduates from Stuart Country Day School is the lead right at the moment. So we're very proud of that as well. That's quite an accomplishment. But to be fair about success, because I just want to circle back to that for a second. I think success is often defined by perfection, or doing something that is so great that everybody has to pay attention to it. And I want to say in arts education, it's really not about perfection. It's really about the journey and finding your voice through the journey rather than coming to the perfection at the end. It's all the possibilities, not just the one answer. And I think that gives us great growth to try to risk take, to find before we become settled. And hopefully that's something that's a gift to all of our students as they move forward in life.
Yeah.
Sydney.
I'll echo what you were saying about like we purposely choose shows that will enhance our all-female cast, and it gives girls a chance to be up front and to be heard. And I think that's one of the most special parts about an all-girls education is we're not like in the background. No. We're in the front, and you can hear us, and everyone is important. I think we did a great job. We do a great job of showcasing the extreme talent, not just on stage, but the art exhibits that we have up for our girls. One of my friends was in an art exhibit outside, and someone bought her painting or picture, and it was amazing. Yes. So we really do a good job of showcasing who we have.
And backstage as well. The traditional roles that may occasionally go to someone else of a different gender are always taken by our students. So whether they're hanging lights from the catwalk, or they're designing sound systems, or they're painting backstage, or they're moving props and sets, this is all female driven. So they learn not only the onstage, but also the engineering and the technology that's required for backstage as well.
Something that you said struck me, Jan, when you were talking about the ability to risk take and to stretch as a goal. And I'm thinking about all those non-artists. And I had the benefit of watching our 8th grade musical, which at Stuart, there's a 4th grade and an 8th grade musical where every student in the grade is required to participate at different and varying degrees. And I was talking with a parent who has a self-described non-artist. This is an athlete, no interest in the arts. And the takeaways that she said that her daughter had in being out of her comfort zone, in a space that she would have never put herself in deliberately, working as a team with this group of people in a context that's not about winning or losing, but it's about a process and a performance that is a collective energy. She thought, wow, that's an amazing takeaway for her to have, and an amazing growth opportunity for her to have. And so I do think about how our philosophy at Stuart really is that arts are for everyone, and at least a deep appreciation of the arts and how you can live in the arts as you even leave Stuart, and continue to learn and grow through the arts once you're an adult. So give me a little snapshot right now of what's happening in your arts worlds at the moment. How are you participating in arts? What's upcoming? What classes are on offer? And and just a little snapshot.
Okay, quick snapshot. Just to review, JK or even preschool all the way through 4th grade have music, theater, and art in the curriculum. So they have those classes every day. When you get to middle school, they're by trimester. They have a trimester of art, a trimester of theater, and a trimester of music, plus a great deal of opportunities with middle school players to do extra theater or to do a select choir. They all sing. We have a small ensemble that's also available. What we just finished doing the 8th grade musical, which was fabulous. It was Beauty and the Beast Junior. And now in the upper school, we have electives. And presently in this trimester, our electives are, take a breath. Here we go. They are graphic design and architecture, honors photography. There is an art and design class, a color class, a painting and drawing class, AP in studio art. There is a appreciation class in music, plus the Tartan Tones that are our singing group, plus Vox Unum, which is our select singing group. And we are presently very excited to be working on Mamma Mia in the upper school. And we have 37 students that are on stage and another 15 that are all working backstage. So the arts are for everyone. We're very excited. And this is just second trimester. We have so much more in the offerings third trimester. And we have a ton of students that keep taking the arts throughout all of the year. So it's just great. It's great. But, you know, at home, think about this. When you want to just meditate or you want to change your sort of point of view, you listen to music. So it's not it's the arts are everywhere. You have paintings in your home, you watch television, you choose to turn on music, you choose to go to a theatrical production or watch a movie. This is what arts are all about: changing our perspective, learning empathy, looking at other people's lives, and finding your voice. So arts are art for everyone. And thank you for saying that, Julia.
Yeah. And Sydney, just to close, you've been with us since you were little baby. And now look at you. And I'm wondering if you can think of yourself as an artist who has grown. And how do you think the arts for you have helped you to grow? In what ways have you grown?
I think so in terms of actual art, I'm not a artist that's never been painting. That has not grown so much. But in the theater, I've grown as a leader a lot. I learned how to kind of take charge of a room when need be, and then the little things that leaders do, like taking effective notes, and little life skills along the way, just from being backstage, being around people who have done it, being around Miss Baldwin and mentors of mine who have all graduated at this point. But it's crazy to think about over the last 14 years how much I've grown as a theater student who has been on stage a couple of times. I've had my 4th grade musical and my 8th grade musical moments, but then grown as a behind the scenes worker.
And I actually loved that Miss Baldwin chose you to come, Sydney, because you aren't the lead in every show, but you were the behind the scenes, making it happen type of person. And I do think that for me, that is a measure of success in a school, that that is acknowledged and celebrated, that all those pathways of success are of equal and of importance in our school, and are celebrated. So, well, thank you both for being with us. And that closes out episode 3. And thanks for those that were able to listen. And we will see you in a week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.